my goodness, this thing was in shipping hell. It was supposed to be delivered like 2 weeks ago, but instead it was just stuck. Okay, anyway, this is the review of Sanada however you say it. Basically, cool tomboy samurai with a interesting set of faces. Yeah, so this is the box, very SHF-like, very nice, very clean, very much shows the figure quite nicely. Sanada Yukimura. So yeah, let's open up the box. Holy lewd cakes, Batman! Anyway, yeah, first look, definitely a big spread of accessories. Interesting. Dual tray, instructions, everything you pretty much need for an action figure stand. I'm assuming this holds the parts, the rest of the parts for the stand, or what is this? So stand parts, eye mover, little flag, very nice packaging. Here are the instructions. They open. You can see kind of the articulation setup. I'm sorry if my voice sounds very off because I am sick and coughing and sneezing, and that's not fun. Okay, let's look at the top tray, and that gives you a really nice look at the figure. Sorry for the glare. Guns, ponytails, swords, extra stand parts, and 3 extra faceplates. I think the smiling one looks a little off, and why does that exist? Anyway, angry face looks good. Normal face looks good. Let's get her out of the box. Okay, first impressions of the figure. Oh, she has this. Okay, let's get that off. Head. Ooh, okay, joints feels pretty decent. Alright, that moves out. Okay, alright. First impressions. Feels good in hand. Joints feel nice and solid. Nothing feels like it'll break or snap off. Maybe the bicep is a little too tight. I don't know. Overall, nope, it feels good. Alright. Shading looks really nice. Little blue tint on the crop top or crop bra, sports bra. Armor looks good. Nice. I think that the black scratches could have been done a little bit better, maybe a gray instead of a black, but that's either here nor there. Apparently, yes, you can remove the jacket. I'm not going to do that yet. First impressions, really nice. Not every scratch was painted. There's a little bit of black right there when it shouldn't be, and that tiny double ball peg for the ponytail has me really worried. It should be fine, I'm guessing. This toe was actually really tight at first. Took a lot of pushing. I should have heated up first, but that was initially very stuck, but it got to move eventually, so that's good. Alright, let me unbox the rest of it and get on to the review. And here we have her, and everything she comes with. Removing the cap to the stand, base, you have all of her extra hands. So they're stored inside the base. That's a nice little storage spot. And they, as you can see, are on ball, that is flexible, are on ball joints. So like a Figma or a Mafex hand tree or a, or a Robot Damashi hand tree. So that'll keep the ball pegs nice and open, which is, which is pretty good. Alright, so very quickly, let us assemble the flag. Basically just put this through all of the little, oh my gosh, those are little, the little loopholes. Yeah, we gotta go through some loopholes to get these. Grab the really long, these are actually metal. Unfortunately, this one is, no, this one's actually not bent. It is this one which is bent. Really unfortunate. But yeah, you essentially just put it through the loopholes. And for a soft goods flag, well, I wish it was wired so you could put it in some cool action poses. I guess it just kind of holds its position as fabric, and then here you have this, which is a flag holder, and then you can plug this into the stand. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And then I guess you have these to adjust the length. No, these are for the poles. So you get one long rod, which bent, so and then one shorter rod, and then a rod replacement part, though it's the same length and shape, so you can attach it to the extra long piece if you really wanted to. Also, this is plastic, not metal, despite it looking the same as this. I might just have it as 2 short rods because this is bent and weight issues. But, I mean, it's a metal rod, which is really nice. So this thing is not going to snap. It's literally metal. You're not going to break it. These, yes, you can break. But the rods themselves, metal. Yep, metal. And, of course, you get an alternate eye piece, or alternate eye moving piece, in case you lose the other one. So that's neat. An extra ponytail as opposed to the other ponytail, which I already put on her, and 2 guns, identical guns, and they will fit into trigger finger hands, and you can have her dual pistol wielding. I need to speak. And 2 fans, very nicely detailed, very pretty, very cool, and of course a sword. I mean, you can't have a samurai without a katana, and that comes out of the sheath. It's very nice. I am worried about the paint if you keep sliding it in and out of the sheath, which I will be doing, because I like doing that, even with my own red and black katana. And something that really surprised me, a little knife. That's cool. That's really neat. Like, super cool. Super cool. So just like some older Reveltechs, she has moving eyes, so you can pretty much point the eyes in whatever direction you want them to go. All around, up for special reasons, and down, and yeah, it just works. Really nice, smooth to move. Here is one more look at her angry face. Then we have her special face. That's all I need to say about that one. And then you have her in battle happy scarred face. Really cool. And I love how her eyes are different between all these faces, because obviously, you know, different expressions, shows different levels of personality, you know, really cool. And her standard face. Alright, seeing the figure now that I'm a lot more accustomed to it, one issue. A lot of paint rub right here, which was kind of expected. I actually saw a little bit of paint rub in the plastic on the packaging itself, so I was a little worried, and yeah, there it is. But overall, the shading on this figure is really good. Very, you know, reddish pinkish shading on the, I guess it's like thigh-high pantyhose. No, it's like transparent. It's transparent brown, black color, tight thigh-high sort of thing. Looks nice. Looks, I guess, realistic. The sculpting overall looks really good. The shading works, and it gives this figure a very premium feel. I don't think you'll really get much paint chipping, but definitely maybe some paint rub. It's just unfortunate if you're having her lean back that you'll see this red, and she leans forward. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't see any other paint chipping, so yeah, let's get on to articulation. Her arm is double jointed, so that moves in that far. Same on the other arm, full double ball joint at the top of the neck, and the neck itself, however, isn't connected. It isn't on a ball, is it? No, it's not on a ball joint, so it's just a double ball joint no, it is a ball joint at the top and the bottom, so you get a ton of movement. Head goes down that far, back that far, ponytail thing kinda moves around, arm raise this much, bicep swivel all the way 360, so that's rather nice. Arms can move back that far, and forward this far, which is a little disappointing. I wish it was a little bit further forward, but the jacket kind of gets in the way. And her crunch is this far forward. That is very disappointing. Back this far. Alright, now let's go to the legs. moving these out of the way. Wait. Now, the instructions say that her legs go out 90? I mean, yeah, that's 90. And then up 90. It's actually a ball joint here and a ball joint up here. So that's fairly interesting. Thigh swivel, and then double jointed bend at the knee. Can't kick the butt, but, not awful. And no swivel at the boot. But you do get a swivel down here at the ankle, as well as a moving down, moving forward, and a pivot. Really nice. That's a big pivot. And then, of course, you get a toe joint. I think that is, she can go around 360. Yeah, she can go around 360, side to side. So, pretty good. Hands are on a swivel hinge. Pretty standard for import figures. And no swivel at the wrist. Well, not wrist, but the forearm. And other than that, that is all of her articulation. Okay, she can stand. I take that back. She sometimes can stand. Even though she has heels, she is actually rather stable, which is pretty good. So you can get her into some you can get her into some really cool and fun poses. It's just a shame about the forward movement. I mean, yeah, you can technically take off the jacket. I'm not sure I kind of want to do that in this review, but yeah, you can take it off to maybe get some more forward movement in the shoulders. But yeah, I mean, her crunch is very limited, but otherwise, everything feels really good. So let's get her weapons on her. That paint on this hand is really unfortunate because otherwise it's really clean on the rest of them. So let's get this off, and I'll go with the sword. Now, unfortunately, you can only store the sword on the sword display. You can't put it on her itself. I think that's very sad, but you're probably not gonna be having it on her. Maybe just sticky tag it on. So let's get that attached to her hand and see how cool she... Oi, that is a tight little ball joint. Dang, okay. Ha. Phew. Okay, that is really cool. She can hold her sword. Yeah, I do wish she had a more, open hand like this instead of just claw, but you know what, semantic. She could still hold it with, she could still technically dual wield, and, with her other holding hand, also technically dual wield, so it's not too much of a loss. It's just a little disappointing. But yeah, she can do a whole bunch of really cool things with the sword, though she can bend her elbow backwards. That's neat. So yeah, sword goes in easily, and it holds really nicely, which is good. So there you go, there's her sword. Nice katana. I do wish it was a little longer, I mean, the blade's supposed to be 3 feet long? Yeah, I think the blade's a little bit undersized. And here she is with her knife, her little stabby knife, with a wild face. There we go. So, wild tomboy samurai with a katana and a knife. Really cool, really fun if you want to do some interesting action scenes. And because she's just quirky enough, you can fit her both into something ancient, even though she's very much not historically accurate whatsoever. However, she could also be modern day, historical, you know what I mean, the aesthetic, but in the modern day. If you put her next to the upcoming Xenoblade action figures, I think she'll fit in pretty nicely. Here she is next to Mio, and while yes, a lot taller, heels, and bigger figure, aesthetically they kind of fit. So if you have the future-y, modern day, but partially old style outfit aesthetic, I think she'll fit in really well with that kind of look, that kind of world and setting. And she'll really stand out in anything historically accurate. Just saying, that is a modern day sports bra. That is a modern day undergarments. That's all I'll say. Yep. She will definitely look right at home along any Fate action figure you have. Yep, I think Fate, the Fate aesthetic, yeah, I think she kind of naps at that. Or Nikke? I don't know. I don't play Nikke. Sorry, guys. I'm not much of a gacha gamer outside of... Well, I mean, I play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is a gacha game. Genshin Impact, which is a gacha game. Zenless Zone Zero, which is a gacha game. I don't play Fate. I don't play the Nikke. I don't play any of the other big gacha games, so... You know what? I'm just gonna... Just ignore me. Just ignore me. And with the long spear, I think it is a little too heavy for her to mono-wield with one hand. But I think dual-wield, it's fine. Because, you know, it is metal, and these are very flexible hands. So, I don't know. I think they should have just gone with harder hands that you slide apart into, kind of like with Figma. Because I'm finding this with the SHF... what's it again? The SHF Kaiju number 8 line, the girl with the big old axe, that her hands are definitely loosening up. I think that it's too rubbery and they should have had another method of attaching it. But with the smaller one, I think this is fine. So I will definitely not be using the bent and crooked long spear, and instead we'll be using the, you know, replacement spear piece. So that's nice. So I guess the fans are supposed to plug in like this into the trigger hands. I don't know, it feels a little weird. It's kind of inconsistent. I don't get it to stick as well on the other side. So maybe it's just my luck. Maybe it's just chance. I can't even get that one to be on. Anyway, she's supposed to be able to dual wield these fans. Pretty cool. Her other weapons, they fall out easily, so I say just like sticky tack it in there. Or I guess maybe use the other holdy hands, because they actually can hold it a little better. Emphasis on a little. Alright, you know why we're here with the trigger finger hands. Yep, we're here for the guns, which slide in really nicely. These are the one thing that you know are actually... Oh, her trigger finger doesn't actually reach the trigger, but who cares? These are the one thing that you know that these things are made to actually be holding, because they have the flexible plastic, the handle is huge, and there we go. I think that as far as what I'm going to be keeping her with, I think it's going to be the guns. I mean, the guns hold on the best. They're cool, and yeah, I think it's the guns. I think I'm gonna keep her with the guns. Ooh, these are cool. These are really cool. They're like dark brown with gold paint. Very cool, very nice, very classic piratey old flintlock pistols. Cool. Hey, this. Yeah, that has me worried. I'm gonna heat that up and make sure that that doesn't snap. Hold on. Okay, so I figured out what was wrong. This piece was actually flipped, which meant that the peg, because of the notch location, wasn't actually fully in the arm, so it was like partially coming out, which is where it's at its tightest. So all I did was flip this around, re-put it in, and there you go. Nice and smooth. Perfect. Yay, fixing manufacturing mistakes. That's not too big of a deal. I didn't have to unscrew anything. Just heat it up a little, pull it out, fix it. If only my Reveltech Miracle was so lucky. Anyway. Alright, before I finish the review, I feel obligated to show off the special face. Sorry to everyone who didn't want to see this. I'm sure there's not many of you. Here we go. This is the face next to the bunny peace sign fingers that everyone wants. I don't know. I mean, I guess, yeah, the figure's not, yeah, I know, it makes sense, but I don't, why, you know what, though? It's fine, more possibilities, yay! Size comparison time. Alright, here she is next to Figma Mio and the high-grade Marasai. Just thought that would be interesting. And of course, Reveltech Harley Quinn and Figma Princess Paracorine, or Paraquin, however it's said. And the boys in green, SHF Tanjiro and SHF Deku. Really cool. And finally, Jada Toys Ryu and Marvel Legends Scarlet Spider. Overall, she's a really nice height. About, Marvel Legends-ish height. It's really good, nice average, perfect for your figure collection in the 1/12 scale because she is a 1/12 figure. If I had to judge her, she is a solid 8 out of 10 for a figure. Yes, articulation could be better, but she has a ton of accessories. A stand, fully posable. Wait, did I even show the? Yeah, the stand. The stand is basically your normal action stand from SHF. Fully posable stand, really nice base, whole flag with soft goods, whole bunch of weapons, extra parts, replacement parts built in, movable eyes, just so much extra stuff. Granted, a bunch of it are duplicates, but that's okay. It's cool. Just a lot of stuff, a lot of articulation where she does have it, and I think that she really pulls off whatever you're gonna want to do with her really nicely. Extra hair ponytail. I wish she had an extra flowing hairpiece, but that's okay. She's fun. She has a lot of personality in her faces, and I think she will stand out while also not being too eyebrow raising. You know what I mean. The first thing my mom said when I showed her the figure was, "Wow, hips." Which makes sense because with the skirt, yeah, she has wide hips. Good job at the sculptors. I think the sculptors did a really good job. I think Tomboy Samurai with red and black/brown is a really nice color scheme and a really fun design. And gold trim. The gold trim is a nice touch. She's based off of a historical figure, I think, I think she's based off of a historical figure who's a guy, that fate sort of thing that happens. Anyway, who cares? She's cool. I give her a solid 8 out of 10. Recommend if you get her, except for the tariffs, if you're American at least. And yeah, fun figure, mostly relatively posable. Again, just the lack of articulation forward. I mean, you're not going to be getting her into any Spider-Man poses, but it is a little bit disappointing. But her joints feel good. Her joints feel solid. You're not going to really have any complaints. At least with my copy, I didn't really have any complaints. And yeah, really cool. Really fun. Now it's time for the poses. All the final photos. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the review. And see you guys next time. Bye.